With that in mind, let's start our conversation. First, from the left, Rick Ungar, the co-host of Steele and Ungar on Sirius XM Radio, also does a whole lot of political analysis at Forbes.com, and he provides some analysis for us here from Newsmax, New York. So, Rick Ungar, as one who has had sympathies toward the Democratic Party, do you kind of get a kick out of the Republican schism on amnesty?
Well, I mean, the truth is we've gotten used to the Republican schism. What I'm finding kind of currently interesting are the schisms in the Democratic Party. But, you know, where Ted Cruz kind of goes off the tracks, in my opinion, he assumes that the executive order, which I can appreciate he doesn't like, he makes this assumption that there's an illegality to it when there's really not.
Well, no.
He ought to...
You're trained as an attorney.
It's just not.
You're trained as an attorney. Ted Cruz is trained as an attorney. The status of immigration solely belongs in the Constitution to the legislative branch, to the Congress. I tell you what, let's listen to some of Ted Cruz's argument, then you can attack it specifically because you're a man who asked for details. Take a listen.
The president has justified this illegal amnesty by saying he told Congress what he wanted, and Congress refused to give it to him. Well, Mr. President, the relationship in our constitutional republic between the president and the Congress is not the relationship between a parent and a child. The president does not get to demand of Congress, here is the policy I want, either give me what I want, or I will decree it to be so and ignore the law. That is the president's bargaining position.
All right, so Rick Ungar, tell me what's wrong with that characterization by Ted Cruz.
Here's the problem. Ted Cruz is doing what so many are doing, and that is conflating the political aspect with the legal aspect. I understand Cruz's argument on a political basis. I understand why he would not be happy that the president chose the route that he did politically. But, you know, the way the law works in this country, for better or for worse, and Ted Cruz knows this. You track the cases and you see that what this president did in this executive order was make a prosecutorial discretion decision. You can like it or not like it. I get it. But there's just no question as to the legality of it.
It's a little too clever by half, Rick, because what you're saying is case law trumps the Constitution. And I tell you what,
case law, no. Case law defines the Constitution. It's not about trumping it.
Okay, thus the penumbras and the elasticity of the Constitution that so many on the left agree on. Let me bring in a reinforcement from the right and make this a panel. The executive director of the TeaParty.net is Niger Innis, who joins us from North Las Vegas via telephone. Niger, you've been able to monitor some of this conversation. Your take on Ted Cruz and his call for the Republican Party to remain true to fight Mr. Obama's amnesty, or, as Rick would put it, executive prosecutorial discretion.
Well, first, it's always good to be on with
Don't laugh at me, Niger. Don't laugh at me.
No, it's terrific. I love the intellectual acrobatics that my dear friend Rick goes through. Look, the reality is it's one thing
to the
for
law.
the president. Well, it's one thing for the president to use prosecutorial discretion in terms of who he's going to give a priority on going after and deporting and who he's not. It is quite a different matter to give people work permits. They're saying that someone that is constitutionally illegal, giving them semi-legal status, and that is an act that should come through the legislature, not through that acting as a dictator.
Here's the problem, Niger. I got to tell you, that was my biggest issue, what you just raised. Right from the start, I was questioning this. Okay, you cannot send these people back, but where do you get the ability to give them work permits? Well, I did a little legal research, and I discovered that, in fact, that there is that authority. Not only is there that authority, it's been done going all the way back to President Reagan, who did the same thing. The State Department, or maybe it's Labor Department, I don't want to misstate. They do have the right to give work permits to those people who are here, even on a temporary basis, or who in this situation.
We should hasten to
I'm
add,
surprised
though.
too. I will tell you that.
Well, we should hasten to add, though, it's never met a court test. You're going back in terms of history of executive orders.
No, there's not a court test.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, not based on executive orders, but there has not been a court test. That's fair. And that would be an interesting thing to check out.
That's right. Minute 30 remains. Niger, I'm interested more in the political dimension of this for Ted Cruz. Does this make Ted Cruz the de facto head of the Tea Party, at least the political sentiment?
I think there's no doubt that my members and millions of Tea Party members across the country love Ted Cruz, and he is a hero among the Tea Party crowd. But look, he's going to run for president. Rand Paul's going to run for president. There'll be several. I mean, Ben Carson is doing extremely well in the polls among conservatives. There's going to be a fabulous Republican primary, and I'm looking forward to it, but Hillary Clinton. What do you think about that, Rick?
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Well, we heard that.
By the way, I gotta quickly say, Ted Cruz is a hero to Democrats for these few days. You know why? His little maneuver where he refused to allow the Senate to adjourn over the weekend, we got about twice as many of our nominees through the Senate than we expected to get through this year.
That's a little bit.
Thanks, Ted Cruz.
That's fine. We appreciate the talk. Is true.
Here's we only got a month left.
Very quickly, 10 seconds each. Jeb Bush on Twitter announcing he's actively exploring a possible run for the presidency. Each of you 10 seconds on that. Niger, first to you.
Jeb is running, and he's running hard, and let all flowers bloom. I can't wait for the primary.
All right, Rick, you happy about seeing Jeb getting this thing?
Niger and I agree. He's definitely running, and I think he's the Republicans' best chance to win the election.
All right, fair enough. Gents, we appreciate your time. America's Forum is coming back.